Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. I got DB with me today, and you already know the drill. He's gonna be going over his indexes that he looks at, as well as his top 5 stock picks for 2026. No one analyzes the stock market quite like him right now. I'm gonna leave all his links in the description down below. Now let's jump into the video.
Hey guys, today I want to cover the S&P 500 and my favorite top 5 stocks for 2026. Before doing that, it is obviously very important to understand where we stand on the greater scheme of things with the S&P 500, with NASDAQ, and with the volatility index, the VIX. So first of all, starting with the S&P 500, we currently are printing a 5-day bearish divergence on the index, and divergences do not work as precisely for stock markets as they work for the crypto market, but nevertheless, this is not something to completely ignore. A bearish divergence is not a positive signal. It can suggest that next year we can potentially get a small pullback for the S&P 500, which in my opinion will be for buying. Two key areas that I will be watching is the simple moving average, either on the 3-day or on the weekly, and the previous all-time high that was reached on February 10th, 2025. So anything between 6,200 and 6,000 to me next year will be a good area to either load up on the S&P 500 index ETF like SPY, or any specific stock which we will cover shortly. Apart from this 5-day bearish divergence on the S&P 500, we have the volatility index on the S&P 500 at a very, very low level, which historically has been an area where investors have taken profits instead of increasing exposure to the market. And typically, good buying opportunities have been presented when this volatility index has spiked, with the higher spikes obviously leading or suggesting bigger drops in the S&P 500, and the smaller spikes usually translating into 3 to 5% drops. Nevertheless, these spikes have always come from this green box, and this is exactly where the index is currently trading. And this, in alignment with the bearish divergence on the S&P 500, basically suggests that investors are getting a bit too comfortable. You're not early buying stocks, even if the macro environment is relatively positive, still relatively positive in the United States and globally. You're not early, you're risking of buying quite late or very, very close to a local top. Now, that being said, I want to go over a few stocks that I think will perform well and that should be part of your portfolio either next year or in 2027. I don't want to mention the usual suspects like Nvidia or Meta or Amazon or Apple. I want to mention a few other stocks, obviously nothing low cap oriented, more into the mid to high cap territory, but still stocks that I do think can give good returns at some point if we get a broader pullback across the stock market. The first one, very prominent, obviously Tesla. We've been a buyer of Tesla in April at around 200, 220, especially around the area where Trump was in a beef with Elon Musk, right? Long gone, but at that time it offered a really, really good buying opportunity. Looking at Tesla now, we have to say it's obviously not just a car company, but an AI and robotics play. It's a self-driving data energy business, and Optimus Robot positions it as a long-term automation and technology platform, basically. So it's well beyond a simple car manufacturer, which I think makes it very, very interesting for a long-term position. Now, testing the previous all-time high area with a 5-day bearish divergence, which is not something I would buy into. I would either wait for this divergence to get invalidated and this area here to be reclaimed, where I would buy a retest and hold this into price discovery, or else I would be interested in the 380 to 360 area, which could be a pretty good buy zone for Tesla for the next few weeks and months if we get it. Apart from Tesla, also another stock from the Magnificent Seven, which I think is not discussed as often as it should be. Google or Alphabet. In my view, Google is a data and AI driven company, not just a search engine. its massive ecosystem feeds its AI development across ads, cloud, and new products, allowing it to monetize AI in many different ways. So the competitive advantage of Google or Alphabet is that it has so many products that yield a lot of data. And artificial intelligence is all about having quality data. And I think that's a big advantage that Google has over other corporations that are developing into AI. In terms of buy zones, if we get the $200 area at some point, might not come instantly, would be quite a significant drop. It would be the previous all-time high retest. I think that would be a really good long-term entry on Google, which has given pullbacks, significant pullbacks before as well. We have had a 30% pullback just earlier this year, and I think it should be possible at some point. We're talking about ideal buy zones, not zones that will hit necessarily, right? Maybe this never comes, but ideally, if we get this level at some point, I would be a buyer. Else we would need to look at the 250 area, and especially if that meets the weekly simple moving average at some point, I think this would also be an interesting zone to buy some Alphabet. The next coin, which to me got really interesting recently, is Coinbase. I've been not as interested in Coinbase because it has always reflected the price action of BTC. It has been heavily dependent on the crypto cycle, and usually the same returns you would have gotten from BTC are the returns that were offered by Coinbase as well. So when BTC bottomed, Coinbase bottomed. When BTC topped, Coinbase topped. Nevertheless, I think it is now slowly moving beyond a cyclical crypto exchange and into a broader financial platform. By offering stocks, ETFs, and tokenized assets, and also ETF custody, I think it can benefit from many market trends and earn more stable and recurring revenue over time and not be as dependent on the crypto cycle per se, which I think makes it a very interesting long-term stock investment. We recently printed a bearish retest here at 280, which is why I wouldn't necessarily buy it here. A very interesting zone in my view would be at around $200 to $190 at some point. This will obviously still depend a lot on BTC. If, let's say, BTC finds new lows next year, this will drop more. Ideally, we'll get some form of higher time frame bullish divergence, hopefully in this zone, which is where I would consider to buy some Coinbase. The next interesting stock, in my view, one of the most interesting stocks currently on NASDAQ, in my view, is Robinhood. Also nothing extraordinary, not something you haven't heard of. Obviously been one of the best performance this year, but still very interesting. And that is because I think Robinhood is a go-to app for trading whatever is popular at the moment. So with stocks, options, ETFs, and crypto all in one place, I think it stays relevant across different market cycles without relying on a single narrative or single hype. It is obviously very dependent on the macro cycle. When financial markets are in a bear market, obviously Robinhood as a corporation, as a platform, performs less good, right? There's less revenues, and that reflects in the stock price as well. But when there's a bull market, then people are more interested in participating in that bull market. And one of the most prominent apps to do so is Robinhood, which is why I think it makes it a very interesting pick to accumulate at any given bear market, and which will perform well in a bull market. I find it a bit overheated now because of the impressive move it had since the April lows, basically a 430% move. Certainly not an area where I would necessarily be interested in buying. There's some support at 115 for scalps. If at some point we get the $65 to $60 area, potentially even in a bear market at some point in the next 2 years, I think Robinhood is a really good buy at this zone, and which will perform really well regardless of which narrative will lead next bull market, whether that's AI or robotics or energy. People will go to Robinhood and find these specific stocks or ETFs or cryptocurrencies to trade and be part of that narrative. Lastly, a little less prominent and not a really great performer this year, I think, is Circle Internet Group. Circle is the company behind USDC, one of the largest regulated stablecoins, making it a key player in a digital payment infrastructure, basically. So I think as stablecoin usage grows beyond trading and into payments in institutions, Circle benefits from a recurring revenue and deep ties to traditional finance, positioning it as a core backbone of on-chain dollars, which I think no other corporation in the crypto space can offer at the moment. And obviously the stock has not done well, but Coinbase has also not done well after its initial launch. If we zoom back, we had a period of significant decline for Coinbase right after the IPO. Circle looks very, very similar. Obviously now in a downtrend, so a bit difficult without sufficient data to identify buy zones, but we will get back to this at some point, and we will find buy zones for this as well. But I think it is a very interesting long-term project and stock that we need to consider at some point if we get a pullback in stock markets. Another stock, which is not a pick because it has not launched yet, but something worth considering, is SpaceX. I shared a short overview stock review on SpaceX in Wealth Group today, also shared it on Twitter if you want to check that out. This will be one to watch in 2026. It is a potential mega IPO and a leader in space infrastructure. Obviously, Elon Musk is behind it. I think it dominates rocket launches with reusable technology, and it also has recurring revenue through Starlink, which is a fast-growing satellite internet business. And obviously, the IPO itself is a bit risky because the valuation that is discussed is quite high, which will mean that expectations from investors is high as well. But after all, I do believe that Starlink has a major competitive advantage over other internet providers given its satellite system, and eventually all these internet providers will need to partner up with Starlink if they want to remain in the industry, or else they will be made redundant. And I think SpaceX and Starlink in this case can have a monopoly or have a very dominant role in this industry at some point, which will make it very, very interesting once it launches. And we will provide more information about SpaceX if it launches, once we have more information about the market cap, the valuation, and the stock price, and other important information regarding the performance of SpaceX and Starlink. Obviously, there are a few risks with it. As I said, elevated expectations that come with a high valuation. Then there can be governmental restrictions for Starlink in different regions around the world, right? And given the highest expectations, I think the margin of error for SpaceX in terms of development and progress will be quite low. Investors will expect a lot, and the slightest mistakes could reflect significantly on the price action. So that's something we need to watch, but still something on my radar for next year. Okay, so that being said, we discussed the S&P 500 and the volatility index and a few stocks that I will keep my eye on, including Tesla, Google, Coinbase, Robinhood, Circle, and SpaceX. There are obviously other stocks that can perform well. Nvidia, certainly the AI leader, one of the most interesting stocks to consider if we get a broader pullback next year. And there are other stocks as well, but for this video I wanted to share my top 5 which I will be considering for investments next year, apart from cryptocurrency investments like BTC or Ethereum. So hope this is helpful. Let us know if you have any questions, and take care, fam. Cheers.
We appreciate the analysis, DB. Make sure that you're signing up at Wealth Group if you want real-time analysis from me and him both. We post everything there first. Happy holidays, guys. I'll see you in the next.